I mean, I think that their mid and late game is pretty whatever in terms of like their team fighting. I don't think it's very good. So I think that it's very likely at MSI they'll look not very good.
Y'all, off-whites here. This is what you played in?
Yeah,
I saw it. I thought I saw it from all the way up top.
I played in these because, I mean, I didn't even want to. I didn't want to, but like, I mean, I kind of did. But like, the thing is, you know, I forgot to bring my game day shoes.
Did you really?
Yeah, I don't know why, but I'm really dumb. So I forgot to bring my game day shoes in my suitcase, and I got here, and then like 3 days later, like when I was like getting ready to like go to the like rehearsal or content or something, I then realized like, oh, I don't have my game day shoes. And then I asked Tran, the VP of, I don't know what the hell he is, of C9. And then he let me wear these. I always wanted to wear them because they're my favorite shoes. So, thanks, C9.
Those are yours?
These are mine.
Okay, but he let you wear it on stage?
He let me wear them on stage. Usually they want us to wear like the game day shoes, you know?
Oh wait.
To have matching shoes.
I have to cut all of this out because you guys are Puma sponsored.
No, we're not.
Oh, you're not?
That's Puma sponsor.
Hey.
I could never wear these last year because we had this Puma sponsor.
Nice.
So I can never be shown on camera with these. No,
all right, so I don't have to cut this out.
Yeah, we're good.
Great.
We're good. I would never say. I would have already told you that as soon as you asked the question.
What are your game day shoes?
Game day shoes are like the white ones. Like they're like white Pumas that we had from last year because we were sponsored by Puma, and then like we don't have Puma anymore. So like, but we had like extra pairs, and they wanted like white shoes for like the the fit.
I remember we had to do that for Golden Guardian.
These shoes don't really fit the colors. This color scheme's kind of off.
Yeah.
With the game day thing, but I don't care.
That's just Fudge unleashed.
Yeah.
You guys do whatever you want.
I just need to flex on people. Also, me and Berserker promised to both go to Rolex in LA after the win if we won before we won. So now we're going to Rolex. So we need to be dripped the fuck out. Basically.
All right. What is our budget range here? What are we talking?
For me, it's probably
how many days of how many LCS matches? Let's just talk in LCS matches. How many LCS matches are we?
Are we talking about like for my set?
How much you spend? Is it one LCS match? Is it 15 minutes of an LCS match?
What do you mean by that? Like in terms of my salary?
You can calculate it. You can calculate it up and down.
In terms of my salary, it's
because if you do that, then people don't know.
Okay, but you guys don't know how much I'm going to pay for a Rolex.
Exactly.
It depends on which Rolex I want.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So how many LCS matches?
I'll say probably like 6 days.
All right, six days. Jeez.
I mean, pre-tax.
Pre-tax 6 days, y'all. So calculate how much you make in 6 days and put it in the comments below, and I'll send it to Fudge.
We'll see how it is. Yeah. Thank you, Jack.
Oh man.
We got the prize money, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. The prize money. It's actually just the prize.
That's the reason why. You know.
Goodness. Talk to me about this Fudge, this Licorice ascendancy. It's been brilliant, and you gave him a shout out afterwards, but like, it's one of the craziest things that I think we've seen in the LCS in a long time.
It's really wild because obviously, like his career. I mean, I'm not sure talking him, but like his career just went downhill after he left C9.
Yep,
like he went FlyQuest, and they just played poorly. GGS, and then he played pretty poorly, and they were just low tier. And then now it's like all of a sudden he's playing carries when all the other top laners in playoffs, except me, I guess, like kind of just playing tanks.
Yeah.
And he was actually playing really well, like in terms of like mid game and team fighting. It was pretty impressive. Pretty impressive from him to come back and like still look really good, look like a top tier top laner in LCS.
Yeah.
Obviously, I still think I'm better, but he's good.
Did you feel it in game? Did you feel the difference in game?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
When I was laning against him, it felt like sort of similar, to be honest. I mean, I felt like the laning phases were like all kind of like whatever.
Yeah.
In our games,
you got
like
the weird flips.
Like, well, like the first game I was playing Olaf mid against Gory, and then that was just like, I mean, he didn't respect Olaf. I mean, he doesn't know how to play the matchup. He like just walked up to me and lost his flash at level 4, but.
I mean, M&S didn't know how to play top lane.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw that, I was like, maybe we don't swap. Maybe I'll just play against Licorice next time. I mean, it was a good swap, like in terms of like what should have happened. But then we like did the invade, and then he didn't realize that he would get like beat really hard in the all-in at the tri-bush. So he got really behind off that. But playing against Licorice was like, it wasn't really too much pressure. I'm gonna be honest. But
were you surprised with how hard they came swinging in game 1?
Yeah, they played really, really well, especially in the first 2 games in terms of like early games.
Yeah.
They looked really, really clean. And I mean, honestly, like their lanes and their coordination with jungle when it comes to like gank timings is really good, and their vision control is pretty good as well when it comes to Huhi and River together.
Yeah.
So they were definitely pretty like fundamentally good at the game. It wasn't like any cheeses or anything like that. They were just playing well.
Well, the lane swap thing was weird for both teams.
Sure, it was weird for both teams, but like in terms of like, they didn't like. It wasn't like us making like huge mistakes.
Sure.
Like except like you could argue M&S making a huge mistake level 1, but like generally they just played well to punish like any sort of missteps in the early game. And obviously game 3 and 4, I think especially game 4, the early game was pretty bad, but like their plan in game 4. But other than that, I think they looked pretty clean, especially in early game. I will say though that like when he goes, the strength seems to be early game of the team.
Yeah.
Because River's just really good at coordinating with his teammates, and he's just really good in general. But when they go internationally, I mean, I think that their mid and late game is pretty whatever in terms of like their team fighting. I don't think it's very good. So I think that it's very likely at MSI they'll look not very good, just because you're not going to get ahead in early game majority of the time as an NA team. You're just not as good at laning phase, and I think their mid and late game is probably their weakness, which is a big problem if they're going to lose early game.
Well, I think that's also indicative of just how strong your late game insurance policy can be in Berserker, MVP of the league, bet all pro AD carry now. Two seasons, 3 seasons.
I mean, it's true. I mean, our strength is definitely, well, we also are pretty good at early game in general, but we're very, very good at team fighting compared to the rest of the league. I think we generally just like play better in team fights. We know where to position better. We've done a lot of review of like LCK and LPL teams in terms of how they team fight, and I think applied a lot of it.
Yeah.
So I think we definitely just seem to be better at team fighting if we're even with them and have an even comp.
Yeah.
We seem to just win every team fight, but I don't think that we're like exceptional. I don't think that we're gonna go to internationally, and if we just play a scaling comp and just go even early game and then just play team fights, we're just gonna shit on them. You know, they're obviously like really good as well at team fighting, and we're the ones learning from them. So
yeah.
It's gonna be interesting to see how we do at MSI, just because I think, well, at least for me individually, I felt like I lost a lot of focus in Summer Split of last year. Even though we won, I felt like I wasn't. There was other parts of my life where I wasn't really focused on the game.
Sure.
And I think that I had a reality check off the Worlds. I played poorly at Worlds. I got shit on in lane by Zeus, Flandre, I think it was, who I played against in EDG. And those two really destroyed me in lane. So I realized that like if I want to, my goal is to be one of the best players in the world. Like I don't want it to just be like another like, oh, he's really good in NA, but I don't want that. Because that's just like the rest of them. There's so many players that are just good in NA, but when they go internationally, they're not that good. I want to be the NA player that's actually showing that like NA can play against these international players. So when I didn't play well internationally, I think it definitely shifted a lot of my focus back to League.
We've done a lot of review, and I think you gave me some really good insight on MSI. But going back to this weekend, we talked a lot about Golden Guardians. What did you learn? What did you learn from this weekend? Because it sounds like you came in, you did your job. All right, cool. We're going to MSI like we already knew we would, but as the #1 seed. What did you learn?
If I'm being honest, I didn't really learn too much. Like I feel like this, at least the series that we just played against them, I didn't really feel like I made a lot of huge mistakes or like they were like exposing me in any way.
Yeah, it didn't feel like they asked you a lot of questions. They asked, M&S a ton, right? They're forcing M&S, and then Berserker. They lost the level 1 pretty early, and Sven died.
Yeah.
But what else? Let's dig into you, man. Like nothing. You were just kind of passenger, do your job.
I don't know. I feel like the top laners in NA don't really force me to like improve a lot. If I'm being honest, like I don't really feel like any top laner is like this. No one plays the same as LCK and LPL top laners in NA, especially top lane. Like for mid lane, for example, you have a bunch of like new Korean mid laners, like with Gory, Vikla, and M&S, right? And they play really aggressive, and they force you to like be good at laning. Especially M&S, I would say, is like a very lane dominant player.
Yes, he is.
And when you play against those sort of players, it really forces you to improve a lot at lane and look more into the lane, review all the laning phases. And for me, I play against these top laners, and they're very passive. They don't really punish you a lot in like certain matchups where you're like losing. They also don't have very good coordination with their team to like dive you or just, plan to gank you. And so it's like, for me, it's hard to like really look at these games and be like, oh, they did something that I didn't expect. They did something that I didn't even know you could do in this matchup. No one's really done that for this split, honestly. I'm very excited to go internationally because I always have that feeling. Every time I play against LCK, LPL top laners, I'm like, oh wow, they could do this in this matchup. Oh, when I play this side of the matchup, I can't punish them. But when they play the same side, and I'm on the opposite side, they just shit on me. So then it feels like, oh, there's like so much more I have to learn. And I really enjoy that feeling because it's like, then you naturally progress way faster. And then the feeling of progression is like one of my favorite feelings in the world. So,
but right now it's all being done by VOD review and kind of trying to surmise what they're thinking.
Yeah, it's more so just watching them and seeing like, oh, what do they think about this matchup? And then like they do something, and you're like sort of guessing about what their thought process was, and you don't really know.
That's a lot harder.
It's a lot harder to improve when you're not playing against like them one-on-one, you know.
Sure. Other than the focus shift that happened in the summer, how do you feel like you improved this year? You said you had a reality check, but what changed? What changed other than focus?
I think a lot of it was, focus is a weird word. Not a weird word. I think people might like misinterpret, not understand what I mean.
Sure, let's go on the concept, man.
So like
the champion's concept of focus.
I think that I've become a lot better at seeing the whole game and seeing all the like taking in the information that's happening in the game. I think I'm able to like really easily like, well, not easily, a lot better than I was last year at just looking at the game, seeing all the information, and actually being able to like make a decision with that. I think when you don't play the game a lot, especially, it's harder to take in all the information because it's whatever happening in your lane, like the 1v1 is like too much to handle. Like you're just getting like pressured, and then you're unable to like, you know, look at the whole game. I think I've gotten a lot better at being able to just, I've been doing a lot of meditation, and I think that's helping me a lot when it comes to like being able to like calm down and sort of just like take a step back in the game. And in terms of like the actual gameplay, I think I've just improved at lane, honestly. Obviously it's hard to tell because you're playing against
tanks a lot of the time.
I'm playing against tanks, I'm playing against NA players that don't punish you in lane. So obviously I'm still gonna have a lot to work on. I always felt like my weakness was my laning compared to other top laners. Like I never felt like, oh, this top laner is like way better than me at team fighting, or he's way better than me at like mid-game macro or something like this. I've never felt like that this is like the thing that LCK and LPL top laners have over me, but rather than just mechanical understanding of matchups and just laning in general. And that's going to be my main focus when I go to MSI, when I go to London, when we start scrimming. That's going to be my main focus 100%, because I think that's what's going to have to improve a lot for us to be able to, or me at least, to be able to stand up to the other top laners.
Sure. Finally, you get to play on a new patch for the first time in what, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, right? What are you most excited about with this changing meta? Either honestly, like, what are you excited to not have to do anymore?
Well,
so that we don't give away any secrets to the opponents at MSI.
I mean, honestly, I actually don't even read the patch notes.
Okay.
Because I was like, I'm not going to focus on a different patch. I'm just going to play my patch, and once I'm going to win, and then I'll focus on the other patches. So now I'm going to have to go back and look through all the patches and find out what's better, look through everyone's like solo queue, like in other regions, and see what people are playing, like start theory crafting. I think we have Vega V2 as well, who's very, very good at theory crafting new ideas about top lane. In general, he's good at theory crafting. So it's going to probably turn into a very different meta, if I had to guess, for top lane. But in general, I feel like I've been pretty good at like transitioning from metas. For example, like even in 2021, there was a very different meta in Spring Split when we won, when I was playing like Sion and stuff like that, and Renekton and Na, and then it turned into like Lee Sin Jace meta at MSI, and I transitioned pretty well to Lee Sin, at least Lee Sin, and it was like, I think it might have been like Rumble a little bit. I think that was Jungle Rumble actually, but I enjoy meta shifts because it just forces you to learn new champions. You start to understand more champions, and as more metas come around, you just start to understand the entire game better. Yeah. So I don't really know what's going to change, but I assume there will be big changes. Nice sentence from Fudge Cake. Good answer.
There it is. That was a long, nice sentence.
That was a nice, terrible answer. Good job, Fudge.
Last one, man. Jeez. I mean, you kind of self-driven a lot of this interview already anyways, because you were talking about Golden Guardians, and then you went to MSI, which was like my next question. You know it. I'm complete stream of consciousness right now. I am not thinking. Like anything that's spitting out of my mouth, I am not thinking. That's what we like. That's when I just get to steer you wherever. You just trust me. What does it take for you to be considered best top laner in the history of the LCS? 3 championships now. multiple All Pros, dominant, finals all the time.
I think I'm getting there. I think split after split, people are starting to like come to the dark side, you know, the Fudge side.
Yeah, moving away from the impact side.
Yeah, moving away from the impact side.
Every day we stray further away from impact.
Yeah, every split we stray away from impact and go to the Fudge cakey. I think probably like winning next split. I mean, it also just depends on how I play. Honestly, if I'm really dominant, I think I will be, because I think that I improve a lot at MSI, for sure, especially laning. And whenever I go to international tournaments, I always feel like my laning just improves so much more than all the top laners that didn't. So that's a nice advantage that I have, I guess, getting to have a good team so I can go internationally and be better than the other top laners, so I look better. But
builds upon himself, yeah.
I think probably 2 more splits. I think 2 more wins, and as long as I continue my trajectory of improving, I think I'll definitely be the most dominant top laner in NA. And people will slowly, you know, once I get to like the 5-6 territory of championships, then we'll there'll be a conversation.
There it is. Well, the conversation is going to start now because it's been so dominant for so long. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Back-to-back, 3rd LCS championship. However many All Pros is 4 All Pros?
I don't know, 3 maybe. Might be 3.
3 or 4 All Pros.
Was I mid lane All Pro? I don't think so. Right?
No way.
I don't think so.
No way. I don't remember voting you mid lane All Pro.
Not back then, yeah.
Yeah, well, congratulations on yet another win, man. And it's been fun watching you. It'll be fun watching you represent us over at MSI, man. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. You can catch more here on Digon Esports as we go international the next time you see us. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. All right, Discord fam. Hopefully you love that. See you later.